try this again. So once again, I am delving into the and I can show y'all one of the most beautiful views I've ever seen. And maybe I will at the end of this stream. But we're delving into the Red Heifer prophecy and the fact that um, this is such a I have explored religion all throughout my life, and yet I've never conclusively heard of this. I have heard of the Temple of Solomon, but I have never heard of the rebuilding of the temple. I'm not even sure what I remember of the destruction. But for this to be such an impactful thing, um, I question why it's not mentioned throughout more religions. Something that is affecting all of humanity is only mentioned in one religion. And then it's got all these, I don't know, it's just got an effect on the greater part of humanity, but only an upper segmented, very standoffish and elusive part of society seems to know about it and is ushering about its orchestration or it's ushering about its, I guess, I guess orchestration is right. So I also feel like I'm a person who never really, I never delved into divination. I never looked at cards. I was actually chose religions and was raised up around people who didn't do this. And religions that I chose strongly discouraged it. But I don't, but now I'm older, okay? And I make my own fucking choices. And I really can't believe that I've made certain choices, but in that I walk away with the truth. I walk away with that which I feel like is beneficial to life, and we're gonna leave the rest. You got to cut the fat. Um, and it's not to take away from any of those organizations. I'm sure at my level of growth at that time, my choice greatly, influenced the person that I became today. So I don't discount or discredit those experiences, but um, had there been a better way to know truth or be introduced to truth and something that could include knowledge and wisdom or information about this, then I believe I would have chosen it if I had known about it. That reminds me of like one time I was trying to put together this. I literally called this thing hip hop for HIV. Let me go ahead and play some music real quick just because I like shit in the background, right? So I literally, by the way, I do own all the rights to the music. Give me 1 second to put the banner up, y'all. But yeah, I had made a group called Hip Hop for HIV. And it's weird because as I stand here today, I'm like, damn, most of the choices that I made and most of the things that I wanted to do all go back to this weird thing that is happening now. Like it all in some way has a little thread connected to the places, peoples, and things that we can't mention on YouTube. Okay. And when I say that, you should know what I'm saying, meaning our government won't tell the truth about what's going on with this thing. People are just being eliminated from life over this thing, over knowing about this thing. Man, did y'all see this video last night that said Tupac is alive in Cuba? You know how many tears my little sister cried thinking Tupac had really died. Really died. And I was looking at her like, but we didn't even know Tupac. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't get it. But I mean, I understand shedding of tears. I shed tears like that when Prince died. I didn't know Prince, but Prince passed, and I was like, it was just something else was in the ether that day that I was like, what the hell is going on in this world? But um, I had created this group, right? And what I was going to do was I approached this very prestigious university. It's also connected because I was working at this university. Also has strings back to the places, people, and things that you cannot mention without getting extremely scrutinized or a check because somebody out there is going to hate on you for mentioning these places, people, or these things. For instance, Candace Owens knows a lot about this, but she is get everybody gets sued. Like it's crazy, man, what we're going through right now. How can elites be mad at content creators? Or um you got real ass like wealthy people being mad at content creators talking about they was spreading a hate campaign. Go look at BJ Investigates or That Surprise Witness, where she's talking to, and she's first of all, I don't understand why she doesn't represent herself in court. Like that to me would eliminate half of your money problems. Is just represent yourself. You've been a lawyer. Like I don't get that, but hey, that's my life. But I'm quite sure because I feel like in her case, those people, those lawyers that she has, are sucking her dry, and they may be doing so because they have some sort of affiliation with the very companies that are suing her because the bar association is a bar, baby. Like they really, I believe they collude themselves together for the purposes of keeping those who they don't want to experience true justice or full justice away from it. So that way, if you got law group A and law group A, those law groups A, B, C, D, E, F, and G, that eliminates a whole group of lawyers who may be very powerful and good lawyers that you can't get access to. And thus, it may affect your ability to get justice because they all know each other and they're all affiliated with each other. In one of the places that I shall not mention the name of, because you all she whose name shall not be mentioned comes from a place whose name shall not be mentioned. Okay, you gotta just do your anyway. I once had to go from law firm. I mean driving because wasn't no internet back then. I mean, it was internet, but it wasn't like you could just go down the line and call all these lawyers. I drove around to these lawyers and successfully, each one after each one, in just a civil case involving one of the very things that has to do with the thing that cannot be mentioned, could not find a lawyer. And I didn't know that back then, I didn't know about the possibility that because these are groups and associations, they had all been told not to represent me. I have seen circumstances where people are I have had experiences where um I went to court with people and just sitting there, the people would look at me and say, or look at us and say, I don't want to have anything to do with this. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, you're not going to give us justice because this topic, which actually was this time I think it had to do with somebody's family, right? They didn't want to have nothing to do with it. Then when I went to a civil case myself, this is all being a plaintiff. I'm not a defendant. I'm not a person that's been accused of this. I'm trying to get protection from people who did something to me. Let's say theoretically. These motherfuckers really would say, I don't want to have anything to do with this. Then, as the thing that shall not be mentioned was experienced in the place that shall not be mentioned, could have possibly had something to do with the person whose names shall not be mentioned. If you understand what I'm saying, because I came to later know that there was a law case back. It's literally a still an unsolved case where somebody who represented one of the people whose name shall not be mentioned that financed the main person whose name shall not be mentioned. Okay, you got to follow the yellow brick road on that shit. Okay, before Epstein, let's just say, and I will not say his name 3 times, so follow the yellow brick road. Before he became the money manager for that guy who runs that place out there was a court case where this guy, this lawyer, it's still unsolved to this day how his lawyer was eliminated in the middle of downtown. And I think that's why there are so many lawyers in the area whose name shall not be mentioned who would not represent my case. Now, I don't know why I was supposed to be part of something that they didn't want to have anything to do with. That part I don't get. But the possibility of, oh, I do know, y'all, and you just have to follow the yellow brick road on it, okay? But this is why a sister like me is making cars because, first of all, did these people and places not want us to use cars and divination tools because they want the masses to be led by what they're inspired to talk about, but maybe their inspiration is coming from the very thing that we could all use for inspiration. So I see a lot of readers on YouTube. By the way, I love them all. All my sisters doing readings on YouTube are really doing some good work because if you haven't been paying attention, and all the women, period, I don't watch men divination. I don't think that is a congruent thing. I don't think those terms go together. I might be really old school in that thought that men should be building houses, women should be in the house doing divination. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I don't think that goes together. But do what you want to, but you got to be hellified for me to be able to watch you. Anyway, so um, 1 second. So I'm going to always try to at least get my little bit of representation going because I like my symbology. I have one of the things. If we ain't got two, we're gonna have one. So I think that since we're not being told that I'm going to rely on the essence or spirit of the creator, and I'm going through a lot, y'all. You know what I'm saying? But something keeps telling me that this is a message maybe that I got to get out because if you follow the first time that I kind of went in on this, I didn't use the cards. I was just talking about how it was coming to me that this heifer's name that's been sacrificed was named Tikva. And Tikva translated means hope. So they sacrificed hope. And then you have to get into, you don't have to get into, but when you start looking at all of these different, what's it called? When you start to look at all of the different translations and things about this red heifer sacrifice, it's just like, okay, where are we going with this? Okay, this big thing that affects all of humanity, but you don't want to tell everyone. It's odd, bro. It's very odd. So, I don't know. Okay, you got to go find this video where this Jewish guy is explaining how he knows for sure that the red heifer was sacrificed. They told humanity or the rest of the world that they were going to practice one, but it was a real one. And you got to understand something about these children, these young people that they choose to sacrifice this cow. They don't do it themselves. See, this is why the shit's weird, okay? Because they're saying that this is being done because they have to purify themselves. The red heifer is being sacrificed because all these people have come into contact with death. And you can't come into contact with death and enter the temple. Okay? But my problem is, well, why have you come into contact with death like that? Then I recall as a young person where you go up, people would force me to go to funerals and they would make me touch the dead. Why do you want to touch the dead? But when you touch the dead, you can't go into the temple until you have been sprinkled with the ashes of this heifer. Okay? This is real talk. This is what the research led me to do. Or led me to. And I just want to point out too that, you know, we all yesterday, as this came out, Ghislaine's information was being, told. First of all, she's an outright liar. When I got the news that she was being transferred from New York to Texas or whatnot, I said, damn, I feel sorry for those prisoners. Because you got to realize this gang, they are recycling the very people who they have abused back into the prison system. They don't give them justice. If you go into the Franklin cover-up, in the Franklin cover-up, these people, this young lady that was testifying, who was a victim, ended up being sent to jail because she perjured herself or something like that. But the issue with that is they let off all of these pedophiles and put that girl in prison because she perjured herself. You feel what I'm saying? So they have such an influence in the judicial system, in the legal system, just like you're seeing that one case. And I could have swore they said that place was called Lecture something, but it's a sex ring in a small town. And it was funny because I saw this lady who claimed she was being organized gang stalked. She was the first one I seen come out with the story. She said, this should be national news. And I was like, it sure should be. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the hell is happening over there in Lecture? Whatever, yada, yada, right? But, yeah, y'all, this is just, it's something going on here. So I felt sorry for the prisoners because Ghislaine is a torture artist. She is a tormentor that has spiritually evolved probably into the demonic realm. But that's what they want to be. Either they came from that realm or they want to be that. Because we all were children at some point. So why would you want to do something like that to a child? Something is wrong with you. That's why everybody's up in odds. I was so impressed last night because as I was laying down, I saw a video, or as I was about to get ready for bed or something, I saw a video where this brother was following them ice cream trucks. He's like, nah, hell no. It was like 11 o'clock at night. He walked up to the ice cream truck like, what y'all got? I applaud that kind of thing. Not saying that I expect our brothers to go out and be vigilantes, but the more you step to them, now I would agree to do it in a group because I'm telling you, the diddiness is off the hook right now. And when I say the diddiness, I mean somebody still got a little coin left to try to cause mad chaos in our streets. They are trying to tie up loose ends, and I think that's why all this weird killing and murder and all of this, just even down to these boys wearing these skirts and these dresses. These are mass humiliation rituals that you are seeing. You're making videos about these young men, but and I respect it because your video has like 97,000 views. I ain't even got one viewer right now. You know what I'm saying, that I can see. But and it's like this when I do it on StreamYard, but that's how I got to do it, right? But I think you were seeing mass humiliation rituals. because it even came in my mailbox a while back that these groups are looking for new blood because in COVID they lost a lot of people. Okay, even though they might have had something to do with putting it on at some level, they had lost a lot of people. I call it the B team is now on. The A team is gone. The A team, whoever that was in every aspect of life, the A team, the people that knew the ins and outs of things are no longer there. Whether this is a job or these types of organizations, they're not there. But yeah, even that red dress thing has a lot to also do, and you'll see it's all guys doing it. That is a fraternal humiliation ritual. And as they do it, the more I think the more public attention that they're getting because of it, it's like, okay, you did that, now you can be in this group. You know what I'm saying? Based on the amount of attention they're getting from it. Even down to little Nas X stripping down to his underwear and going down the street. Honey, he is that is the very that is the very same thing as Cat Williams and Martin Lawrence all being found on Hollywood Boulevard to some degree or at some point. They were in Hollywood, going up and down the street, going through something. Except Little Nas X did it in his sophisticated, controlled, cool, and calm way. It's still the same cry for help. Somebody's after me. Okay? You don't run down the street in your underwear for nothing. And it also looked like a little TMZ Diddy kind of thing. Because if you study Diddy's videos, Diddy was always trying to catch somebody's face on camera. Okay. So he would have TMZ roll up, and it's like they knew that this was about to go down. And then they would call somebody's name, like when he was with Brandon, they called Diddy's name, and Brandon turns around and the camera's in his face. That's a setup. It's an on camera setup. The people that do this like to put people through this. It's an Epstein thing too. It's the same thing Epstein did with Bill Clinton in the blue dress. Like, I got you. You know what I'm saying? I got you. So I'm about to go ahead and paint this picture. I guess Epstein did it in pictures. Diddy does it by catching your ass on camera, out and out right. But all of that to say that all of this leads down the same fucking tunnel. Okay? Literally a tunnel. It's a tunnel that we're in. Now, I happened to watch a movie yesterday as I get ready to do this. I happened to watch a movie yesterday, and the movie was called The Omega Code. And I had seen it before, but as this ritual keeps popping up, I keep thinking of that damn movie. Now, if you want to see this movie, it's available on Amazon Prime for free. I think for free if you got Prime, I'm not really sure. But yeah, you know, anytime I feel like anytime somebody's name is spelled out, but we keep mispronouncing it, and there's so many variations. Like, for a long time, I had never heard the name Jalen. I really hadn't until there came a little cousin, and my cousin named her Jalen, and my aunt mispronounced it and said Galen. And what was funny, I ain't gonna say it all because I guess it might be an inside joke, but it meaning it exists only inside of me. So maybe it's only funny to me. Anyway, um, Ghislaine. I think this name has been given out. I don't know where this name came from. Before I heard Jalen, I never heard Ghislaine. I started hearing these G names, and the only G names we had before this was Gloria, Gary, Grace. There was no G's that was J's. Okay, Ghislaine and Gillen and Jalen. Okay, I've never heard these type names before this era came about. It had to be what in the late 80s, early 90s, maybe. Yeah, maybe middle 90s. I never heard these names. Now, when I was watching the Omega Code, I watched it so long ago, but it's funny how Ghislaine's testimony came out yesterday or whatever that's supposed to be. Honey, no, no. Somebody went and got her out and got her version of things to quell the outrage about the reality of the situation and the fact that the reality of the situation wasn't being released. So the fabrication of the situation got released by going to her as if she's an authority on the matter so that she could dissuade the anger in the people by saying what the story is. Like she's the authority. She is also a, according purportedly to the other victims, she's a, I can't tell you what she is. You know what she is? No, because I don't know for sure, but my spirit is telling me that that lady is the equivalent of somebody else. Oh man, I don't want to talk about these people, y'all. I really don't. Because every day I switch back and forth on another person that has something to do with this. Like, are you a tormentor or are you a person that's trying to help the victim? But you really see, like Ali Carter said, you see no victim work from any of these people who are out here running their mouths about these situations. You don't see no victim work. You don't see no victim advocacy. All you see is them out here running their fucking mouth about it. So where do they really stand? Hmm? All right. Anyway, in the Omega Code, the reason why I was talking about their names, in the Omega Code, the main character's name is Gillian Lane. Now, when you say that fast, it's Gillian. It's Ghislaine. I think her name is pronounced Ghislaine. And what's the irony of her stuff coming out yesterday? And the main character in the Omega Code, a book that is about the very times that they are trying to bring forth. Okay, because I heard a secular talk the other day, and he hit it on the head because nobody's saying it. They're doing this to bring about the apocalypse. Okay, the apocalypse, which is supposed to lead to somebody coming back on a horse. I guess that character is supposed to be a divine character. And then I think about the situation of African Americans in that. It's like, I still think our move, like I said a couple videos back, if you ever have watched the show War Games, the movie War Games, our best move is no move. Don't make a move. Don't react. Don't react at all. Because good or bad, I believe that the creator, good or bad, I believe that the creator is going to use them to fix the situation they fucked up in the first place. That's what I think. I think they are being misled, divinely misled to do this. And that which they think that they are ushering in is going to serve the very opposite purpose. It's going to usher them out. So just sit back and let it happen. And here's the problem with that. Protect yourself to whatever degree you can protect yourself, because those ashes, okay? Those ashes are to purify. Let me pull this up. That's research I did the other day. But those ashes are to purify people after coming into close contact with death. After coming into contact with death. Now, the ways that they come into contact with death, it's only like they have to have attended a funeral and touch the person, or let somebody die in their tent, which means their home. And it was another way. But it didn't make enough sense that everybody has been touched by death in this way to the point where they have to sacrifice this cow. Because how many of them are actually over there? And why would they have come in such close contact with death that they really need to sacrifice this cow? And then this cow's name is Tikva, and Tikva means hope. You feel what I'm saying? Now let's talk about these kids. These children that they use in this process. These children are supposed to come from a certain bloodline, which I would imagine to be, well, it's going to definitely be an elite bloodline, because when you hear about how these children have been done all of their lives, it parallels trafficking. Okay, it parallels trafficking. Divine Creator, please protect us in our energy and protect us in our ability to try to decipher what's going on for the common masses. And please protect those whose eyes and ears view this from those whose eyes and ears don't want us to know about this. Protect the message and guide the hands, guide the mind, guide the heart, and guide the soul of all those watching and all those performing, in order to bring about a great message that will lead us all to protection and safety from that which is being done, and help it turn out in the best manner for us and the worst manner for those who wish harm upon the greater good in yourself. I said peace, soul, and love. Okay. But these children are raised from a divine, they obviously are elite children, because they can't ever, you got to go back to the children of light oracle reading I did. They aren't allowed to leave the house. They literally aren't allowed to leave the house, guys, all of their lives. Because just like that cow, they can't have ever worked, okay? They can't have ever come into contact with death. So there are also people who never had somebody die in their house. They obviously never been to a funeral. Now, I talked about in the last one, I talked about the fact that these circumstances where people don't ever come into contact with death, well, when children get trafficked, if you look at that, it feels like they're doing an as above, so below. While they're doing this, and it sounds so good on its surface, because this child can't never have gone outside their whole lives, and they lead you to believe to think that it's just one child, but there is more than one child. There are 3 to 4 different youths that they use to get this process done of burning this heifer. Okay, so we talking about 4 different children. Now you telling me, listen, when they had that camp catch on fire, okay, that camp, let me make sure I got everything off here. That camp, okay, that camp, sorry y'all, I just want to make sure, because I don't like interruptions, it kind of bothers me. That camp, it was reported that camp, we talking about the camp that just flooded, where all the little girls was, okay? And I'm sure they wouldn't choose a girl to do this, but regardless, right? It makes you think, who the fuck is the heifer? That camp had elite children in it. But it can't be one of these kids, because these kids, anyway, are children who never left the house, who are from a particular bloodline. And I forget what else they said about this kid. But it reminds me of not only that, but they say that in the city of Atlantis, where the Book of Thoth speaks of this, okay, in the city of Atlantis, they had kids in the inner part of the city that supposedly were guiding the I guess the prophets of that time. They're the information that was used for humanity at that time came from the children. Well, then let the children be the leaders, instead of you keeping these children inside. Children like to play. What the fuck was their life like that you had them inside the middle of a city and never let them go play and experience being kids? I don't understand that. I literally don't understand it. It sounds like trafficking. This child that is raised to do this service of burning this heifer. It isn't being done by this dumb motherfucker who's already touched death, came into close contact with death with his old ass. They using kids to do this, okay? And at the same time, we got a problem with trafficking. Do you understand the threads that I'm picking up on and feeling here? Do you understand what I'm saying? Because I might have to mix in some other cards with these cards. Because I made two other decks. Well, at least I made two other decks since the first reading. But I might have to pull them all in together so that we can really see what's going on here. But let me see if I can find this real quick because I want to tell you about these ashes, okay? Let's see. I can't remember which one I did that. So, give me a second, y'all. I'm just gonna try to pull it up. Just if you can hang with me. I know I said this for later. I did that on purpose because. All right. That is it. And this one. All right, let's try this one. Because I did try to figure this out. Because this guy comes on, right? And he's holding up this bag of ashes that he supposedly has from the ceremony, okay? Well, here's the issue. He has them in a little dime bag, but the dime bag is only filled up like a third of the way full. He said in that third, there was like enough dosages for 10,000 different people, or 10,000 dosages was in a third of a dime bag. Okay, now why he called it a dime bag, I don't know. Is that the reference that a person who has knowledge about the red heifer sacrifice would have regarding uh the ashes of such a sacred ceremony? I mean, like, is that the proper way you would describe that bagging? You feel what I'm saying? Maybe you don't. I don't know. I may have to input it again. Let me just go down to these and see if I can see it. It might be in this one. I know it was like my first question. Give me a second, y'all. I apologize. Let me get y'all a better phone while you're waiting here, and we'll delve into because I gotta cover the ashes before I start flipping the cards. I'll tell y'all more about my phone one day, but it'll be on my channel. Yeah. So my first version of this, I forgot I wasn't on my normal one, y'all. I apologize. But my normal channel is Justice Networks, and I didn't want to put this over there because I didn't want to say something where it'll be taken down and then I'll get my whole channel taken down. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I put it over here as a test, and then if so, I will redo it over there when I feel like the time is right. All right, so here we are with these 10,000 doses, okay? All right, so here's what it is. Apparently, there are 10,000 doses in a dime bag size, okay? And there is a total of 10.5 gallons of ashes that was produced. This one guy had 10,000 doses in a dime bag that was filled a third of the way full. Okay. So if you have, and I want you to think about this in terms of the Gaza Strip, in terms of what's going on over there. By the way, prayers and prayers and protection from the ancestors for the children and everybody that's not getting food and safety over there. Please protect. Nobody should be being done like that, regardless of what our leaders and our governments think. Nobody should be being done that way. This is a big problem. As they do over there, they will try to bring that shit over here. You cannot separate yourself from that. Okay? This is not a separatist type of thing where you can be like, oh, that's what's happening over there, like they deserve or something. What child would deserve such a thing? What innocent? You don't think there's an innocent among them? You understand what I'm saying? So apparently this sacrifice produced 10.5 gallons of ashes. Now, if the dime bag was full, okay, then there would be about 3 grams or 10,000, like they said, 10,000 doses. But 1 gallon would be 80 to 100 pounds of ashes. Therefore, if 3 grams is 10,000 dosages, then you would end up with about 12,000 dime bags. Each dime bag having about 10,000 dosages, which would also mean there is 120 million different dosages produced out of one red heifer sacrifice. They bought 5 different red heifers over there. It was more than that, actually. I think 5 were considered really, really, I guess, exactly what they needed. So there's about 120 million dosages produced if it turned into 10.5 gallons of ashes. Now the ashes are that's well, I don't know, because they're mixing it with high sop and some other different stuff. Okay. So the people that need the purification are people who touch a corpse. Okay. This is why they burning this heifer that's named Hope. Because these people they can't go into the temple that they're rebuilding that has a foundation stone in it from the Dome of the Rock that they're going to put in this new temple. I think it's more about the foundation stone than it is about the temple. Straight up. That's how I feel about it. Okay. But they can't go in the temple. And by the way, this person that performs this ritual, this child who's never been outside, these 3 to 4 children who've never been outside, will be unpure when they get done with this ritual. They can become pure, but they can't go in until after sundown. If a person has touched a corpse or been inside ever been to a funeral basically, or around a place, they can't. So these people wouldn't be able to be policemen, detectives. They would never be able to be in those positions because by religion, they are not allowed to be around corpses. Or if they ever touch the grave, that it makes them ritually impure from death. Okay. So they're ritually impure by being around death if they have touched the corpse, touched the grave, or been in a place or building where a death has been present. Now I don't know why. I know a lot of people that go their whole lives, and unless it's their parents, you know what I'm saying? Why would the Creator produce a religion where a person isn't allowed? I don't understand that part right there. Why would, like, your parents may pass or a loved one, so you can't ever see the death of a loved one? Why would the Creator ever produce such a religion where you're not allowed to mourn Okay. Or the mourning process means you never can be around the person who's passed. It just isn't, it don't add up, y'all. It says here, almost everyone alive today has indirectly come into contact with death. Funerals. Why would the creator create something that gotta go through this entire process of something getting killed, all because you was around? You were around something that is by nature gonna happen unless we have been fooled and tricked. Are we in some type of parallel reality or something where really it ain't supposed to take place? Something ain't right. Something ain't right in the Kool-Aid. In Jewish thought, death, impurity, blocks access to the Holy of Holies. I knew it was the Holy of Holies. When y'all look at the pictures of, and I'll do a little a video later, hopefully, of this place and this ritual, because I got some unique pictures. And it looks like the Holy of Holies that they're building. Not just the third temple, but the whole, they're rebuilding the Holy of Holies, the Holy of Holies. You know, it's a woman in there. It's a woman. That's my belief. It's a woman inside the Holy of Holies. It always was. Is that what the foundation stone is? You know, it's funny. I heard another reader say a while back that people get turned into stone. This reader was called She's a Seer. And she literally said that a few videos back. And she dropped wisdom on that one that I don't even know if she knows she dropped. You know what I'm saying? Because when she said that, I thought about the shit different. I thought about the movie Everything, Everywhere, All at Once, where they actually are stones at some point. You feel what I'm saying? All right. The red heifer ashes are mixed with water, sprinkled on day 3 and 7, and is the only way to reset purity, day 3 and day 7. Without it, no priest, Cohen, or Israelite can legally enter a rebuilt temple. So it's not just some people, it's basically everyone because death touches every life. Why? So why? Why would this? You know what I'm saying? I don't get it, y'all. All right, let me see if I see any more important parts. Death is not an accident, it's part of the cycle of creation. In Genesis, after the fall, morality becomes part of human experience. For dust you are, and to dust you shall return. In many traditions, death is viewed not as an end, but as a transformation, a transition from one state of being to the other. Let's see. All right, let's just jump into this. Man, these kids are raised in elevated places, and never allowed to go outside. And then they have to do a ritual. They're and they're from a certain bloodline. Then they gotta go do. They're raised like this to do. So how many kids is raised like this? Because you know it's illegal to not send your kids to school. It was so much so for a while back that it was like for real, it was illegal to not send your kids to school. They come and bust you. Man, it's deep. All right, so let's look into this thing. I want to do it the way that I was inspired to do it. All right, so let's see when this might be done. Let's ask the creator. Let's ask the essence of creation. When will this ritual actually take place? Now, if we get a past date, then we know it actually has taken place. But if we get a future date, then it hasn't taken place yet. Now, tonight, I guess it might have, they lie, y'all. They don't tell us exactly when things is gonna happen, but from my calculation, Tonight is supposed to be the black moon. And I'm telling y'all, as a woman, I've had some experiences here recently that don't make any fucking sense that have to do with the moon. And I'm like, yo, man, what's happening here? Wait a minute, what? You know what I'm saying? How I feel on the inside. Like, what is going on? All right, so divine spirit, please guide us as to when is this ritual supposed to occur? What is this ritual? When is this ritual occur? This red heifer sacrifice. All right. Yep, that's what came out. All right. This is red heifer sacrifice. Hopefully you can see that. Red heifer sacrifice. Hanukkah illumination. December 2025. Festival of Light and Temple rededication. All right. So that's our first card. Divine creation. What is this? What is this about? I'm gonna keep them because I wasn't done with my question. You know, it's funny. These cards just don't fit any kind of way, right? Like for real, these would have to be the size of playing cards in order to properly like fit a full shuffle. Way, you know, it's really weird how I've never come into this information. That's why I don't proclaim to be like a tarot card reader. I'm not an oracle card reader. I believe that my intuition has been thrown off on purpose because I may have had such an instinct at this as a young child that people feared that divinity would flow through me. So they feared what I could have become and they kept me away from it. And then I don't think all of my choices have been fully mine, but because these things were placed around me. So if you only give, let's say somebody really wants a kiwi, but when you go in the store, you only see plums, grapes, watermelons, and apples. Well, you gotta get maybe a grape and some apples. You know what I'm saying? Like, but you really want a fucking kiwi. So you're only going to be able to choose from what is available to you as selection. All right, so let's see here, y'all. So now we want to know, Divine, what is this about? And I ran across some words that I added to this deck that are based on the movie, the Omega Code. And if y'all want to check it out, it is a pretty good movie. At least over here, I don't really have to apologize for. I'm not going to apologize for taking all the time and explaining all of this. It's actually to be pretty relevant. But good test run. What is this? What is this about, dear creator? I saw this one sister. She just laid her down like this, and she had a good reach. She laid her down, and she could just pull one out. I like that too, but it'll come to me, you know, how to it'll come to me how to do it. So I saw Lionsgate on the bottom. That's the portal we just went through, and it's funny, after we heard about this, it was after Lionsgate. So and then Elon be doing weird shit on the Lionsgate portal. He be over there in Memphis. He over there in Memphis trying to build the AI guy. Meanwhile, you got people in front of CERN doing rituals, and then you got these people over in over wherever they're at. I don't know where it is really. I don't know what that place is literally called. I don't know if they in the Gaza Strip. I don't know where this place actually is, but they doing this thing, sacrifice for this red heifer. So let's see what it's about. What does it mean for the rest of humanity that ain't gonna be able to go in this temple because they ain't even never been used. You know what I'm saying? Those of us that can't afford the plane ticket. What does this mean for us, please? He who controls Jerusalem in the last days will control the world. Okay. Well, so who is doing this? Who is doing this? Who is orchestrating this? I saw a video here recently, and let me tell you, Mike Johnson, the leader of our Congress, he's one of the governing bodies. He was voted in, and people didn't like the fact that they was voting in. Now, let me tell you something about our Congress being involved in this, y'all. Okay, the problem with our Congress being involved in this and this whole thing about these children and the trafficking and whatnot. Okay, the problem with the Congress being involved in this is the fact that um, I'm gonna just try to keep this one because it's less noisy. I need my okay. So the problem with our Congress being involved in this is that, you know, some people are upset about the fact that Trump won't tell the truth and let the truth come out about this because he's in some way involved. But the problem with that is the Democrats should have stood up and said something that lets you know that our entire Congress has been blackmailed. And that leaves the possibility that our country is basically under siege by other countries or entities or whatever and whatnot, because they, and this is why I say it, it all goes back to it, all these ties back to the fact, if y'all don't know, Jeffrey Epstein was supposed to have been an operative working for other countries, but mostly for the very one that has something to do with this sacrifice. Okay. And he was allowed to operate like this for over 50 years doing this kind of thing. Okay. And then when you go into the Emerald Tablets of Code, then them suckers also being into this weird kinky shit. It's not kinky. To say it's kinky is to lessen it so much. It's not kinky. It's depraved. It's really depraved, the level of shit they do. And it's really got to be stopped and it's got to be exposed. All right, so I got to get to my third question here. 1 second, y'all. I'm just trying to bring something up. I thought I had some more. I do got some more jazz songs. I just gotta find them. One more minute, y'all. Just on a break, go get yourself a little something to drink. I might be here a while because this is my first run through for my second run through. You did? All right, I think we are in the area. What I want to find. I can't wait to bust that out on sax, y'all. For real, for real. That's why I did that song. All right, let's see. I can't find it fast enough. Might be right there. I made this for my homegirl, but she don't want to put it out yet. And it's, I don't know, y'all. To me, you gotta strike when the fire's hot, and this is what I'm talking about. Like, you never know if it's just spirit wanting you not to be successful. You know what I'm saying? If a song's hot, put it out. Now somebody else that stole the title. Damn near. So I'm looking for people that, if you want to be, doing some music, let's try to hook some up. Oh, here we go. God damn, that's the same one. I made more jazz songs. All right, put the two jazz songs together. All right. So our next question in this, and I'm sorry, I don't like to mess with the energy, but my energy don't be right. That's my music is. All right. So how are we laying these out here? The children had to be raised in buildings, homes that were elevated on stones, so they never risk impurity from graves under the ground. So think about that. That's a whole chord that should be in my Children of Light Oracle deck. You want to look for kids that are in houses that are in elevated stone, okay? Drawing water and food in a protected way. Mm, that's weird. How you draw water and food in a protected way? And these pure priests were prepared using red heifer ashes, were used for preparing red heifer ashes. In Numbers 19, the ritual in Numbers 19 requires priests who are not in contact with the dead, raised in rituals of purity, building homes. Wow, that's crazy. The red heifer is directly tied to the coming of the Messiah. So I guess that's who they think's coming back on a horse with wings. But it's after the apocalypse. The rebuilding of the temple ushers in the apocalypse. The ushering in the apocalypse, okay, which is end times, is then supposed to bring about the coming of the Messiah. Well, strap up, motherfuckers. Just strap up, cause we don't know. There's four different priests. Priest one slaughters and sprinkles the blood. Priest two burns the heifer with cedar and hyssop and wool. Priest three gathers the ashes. There might be five of them. Priest four mixes the ashes with spring water. All of these priests are impure until evening. And priest five on sprinkle on the fire. And then the defiled person receives the sprinkling and is purified. Wow. I was looking for my layout here, y'all. Give me a couple more minutes. This is the intermission. I don't know why the music kept going. Even that is, I know what tone that is. It feels almost like when people hit them bowls, don't it? Okay. I don't know why this is coming on. There it is. think I'm gonna make some more jazz songs. Y'all know I started off with songs about this and that dude. Man, I wish it would show what I was trying to show. And I don't know why that would be any further down the deck. Okay, maybe this one. If they knew how weird, I get that I guess that by their religion, they think they have to do this. But if they knew how weird it seemed to everybody else, they might be like, I don't know. All right, part one was supposed to be the event and the significance. Okay, and then part two was supposed to be the timing. We're gonna leave these out there. I'm gonna start from that way. All right. All right. So Divine, I asked for some guidance on the event and its significance. Please show us the event and its significance. Okay? Event and significance here. Oh, I'm not doing it the way I want to. Oh, now we mix up. Hold on, y'all. I don't like it like that. Somehow we got flipped, and I don't remember you. You know what I'm saying? That boy. They all messed up. Y'all remember when Jay-Z started wearing Hebrew shit at the Grammys or some shit? He had on them strings and shit hanging from his shit. I'm looking like, what is that? So he got a string. Y'all remember how they used to say back in the day, if you pull on a string, your whole garment was gonna come apart. And he had all this shit hanging and dangling and shit. He went all the way, he went 10 toes one all the stuff all these people have done, I'm not even sure that they're the same entities they began as. Meaning, I'm not sure the Jay-Z that we see is the Jay-Z that who he was in his original spirit. I think they are possessing these bodies. Like, just like yesterday, I was hearing how Hulk Hogan supposedly stopped breathing. Okay, and it was some shit that happened after his death. Apparently happened after a procedure that he went through, and I was like, yeah, that's because Malcolm Jamal Warner's organs were not coherent with his body. These people they don't pass, they just get new vessels. They don't pass. That's why they're doing all this. They don't want to die. The end of the Red Heifer sacrifice, they're not ever supposed to experience death. They want to live forever. So are you going to have 120 million people living forever? You know what? That reminds me. Give me 1 second to do a little research real quick here. Because this is what we got to know. Okay. All right. Regarding. So if we got 120 million dosages, right? This thing has to do stuff out of the look, if you can load the chat now. All right, and the Georgia God song. Right now. Okay, it says under 500 million. Mm. It's just weird. Under 20 million. All right, so divine ancestors, spirits, and guides, please guide us upon what is the event, what is the significance of this here red heifer sacrifice that is being thrust into the lives of the masses without being fully explained, fully told. Please guide us on the divinity of what is the event, what is the significance. Rosh Hashanah, offering, September 15th, 2025, new beginning. So that's a possible upcoming date. Like once again, for divine, what is the event? What is the significance? Future fulfillment. It's the prophetic vision of the third temple completed. The temple construction and cornerstone dates. Future fulfillment, meaning it hasn't happened yet. So these are both future dates. We got September, uh, we got September 15th of 2025, which will be coming up real soon here. And then we got December 2025. Future fulfillment. As I said, my intuition has been thrown off, I feel intentional. So I don't claim to do this in a perfected manner. And shoot, you can tell by how somebody flips their cards how adept they are. You know what I'm saying? I still gotta bust me out. It's 1:52 p.m. All right. So, let's see. I'm gonna put this one on repeat. Just this one. Turn it down a little bit. All right. So give us next, please, divine ancestors, spirits, and guides. Guide us on when. Well, we already got a lot of when, but let's just ask the question, see if we get any when about when this ritual will take place. On Tisha B'Av, which was August the 3rd, which more closely fits this Lionsgate portal. Now, I don't know what Tisha B means. I would like to look that up. It's mourning and renewal intertwined. And then what also fell out was Epiphany alignment January 26th, 2026. I'm sorry, January 2026. Revelation, this is when it would be revealed to the world. All right, so let's go. First, we have future fulfillment. And it's weird, besides this one, all of them, besides Tisha, the all of these are future fulfillment. As if this in the future, the dates will be important regarding something. But January 26th is an epiphany alignment. So this is when this red heifer ritual will be revealed to the world. Probably that it happened, or yada yada. Maybe if someone cared to explain what the hell it's about. So let's see what Tisha B means. Because in the movie, the Omega Code, they discussed something being sunrise, 4th of Av. But I didn't see that, broken down anywhere. So let's go. What is Tisha B? It means the 9th of Av. It's an annual fast day in Judaism. So it was August the 3rd was an annual fast day. It is considered the saddest day of the Jewish calendar. It is a day of communal mourning for the many tragedies that have befallen the Jewish people throughout history. Mourning and renewal intertwined. The primary reason for the observance of Tisha B'Av is to commemorate the destruction of both the first and the second temple. So that was August the 3rd. They were commemorating the destruction of both the first and the second temple. The first temple was destroyed by the Babylonians in 586 BCE. The second temple was destroyed by the Romans in 70 CE. Now, I want y'all to understand it. Rome has an equivalent to Cincinnati, and you just got to do your research on that. Both of these events are said to have occurred on the same Hebrew day, the ninth of the month. The ninth of the month. And the Lionsgate portal was the 8th. But they said something else was happening on the ninth. I forget what they said was happening on the ninth. Over the centuries, Tisha B'Av has also come to be a day to remember other major calamities, including the sin of the spies who slaughtered the land of Israel, the sin, which resulted in the Israelites wandering in the desert for 40 years. The defeat of Bar Kokhba revolt and the massacre of Jews at Batar by the Romans. So the Romans did a lot to the Jews. And Cincinnati is supposed to be considered a form of Rome. The expulsion of Jews from England in 1290, in Spain from 1492. So they probably why they kicking us on shit. They like, we have been kicked out everywhere too. Then in World War One, the mass deportation of Jews. So they're mourning all of these things on the same day. It's August the 3rd, and they're doing fasting on that day because it's the saddest day on the Jewish calendar. Observances of Tisha B'Av are similar to those of Yom Kippur and include a 25-hour fast, refraining from bathing, wearing leather shoes, and other pleasurable activities. The Book of Lamentations, which mourns the destructions of Jerusalem, is read in synagogue. Well, I had another question based on this, but I forget what it was. I think it has something to do with Rome. All right, so let's move on. Our next card that we want to ask for, well, we got a timing card. We got plenty of timing cards. So let's move on because I think more than anything, we're getting a timing reading here. Our next question would be, what would be the impact upon greater humanity? Just general ignorant humanity that is ignorant that this is even occurring, ignorant of what this is really about. What will be the effect on greater humanity down? The problem is, I don't think there's a bad carding. Like, I don't think it read that way. And I asked for a divine, inspiration. So I'm not sure. But let's ask. Oh, that's something here. All right. Keeper of Secrets is the first one. And then regarding time, it should be Temple Activator. Okay. So this says children in hidden knowledge, keeper of secrets. In prophetic and esoteric forces, temple activators, individuals or objects that bring rituals to life. So the impact is going to be the temple activators and the keeper of secrets. All right, that's reading that way. Now, what is the guidance that you have for us, Divine Collective? Let's see, which one is this? This would be, I'm gonna put this with impact. Because it says, he who controls, this came out first though. He who controls Jerusalem. Okay. We'll do a good camera take of this later. So I have a very rigged version of a phone tripod or whatnot. I don't know. Good Lord have mercy. Good Lord have mercy. Jesus. God protect us, walk with us, and protect us. All right, protect myself. I ask for you to protect, and let's move on with the message here. What is the? We'll ask for one more. We got four. We'll ask for one more impact card. What is the impact that this will have on the greater aspect of humanity all over and throughout the world? Portals of mercy. Well, it all sounds good. We got four cards, and four cards. So the holy doors and spiritual portals. So I had asked because I think there's a great overlap between the Pope opening those gates before he passed. You know, some of those gates are still open, and all these rituals that are going on regarding the Red Heifer while those portals are open. Because one of them was a portal, and what I thought it was is what they said was the portal to the like portal of the souls or something, but it was definitely to a prison. And it's weird because that portal didn't get open until after P. Diddy was put in prison. Because I always felt like it was the Pope's like divine asking that he be released. Like so serious. So serious. I'm not even playing. But holy doors and spiritual portals, portals of mercy, forgiveness, grace, and divine activation. So we got a lot of activation going on um, regarding our impact question of impact. So it's impact. He who controls Jerusalem in the last days will control the world. It's like the hand that rocks the cradle controls the world. That one was a bonus card given by the movie The Omega card because in the Omega code they go from the Bible code, okay, and in the Bible code it's 70 rungs of text, 7 lines, but the last line isn't revealed, so they only go 69 rungs, I guess. Now, what a rung is, I don't know. Let's see what a rung is. I think this is a step. I think I looked this up before. Interesting. Commonly seen on a ladder. So it's a step. Okay. All right. So he who controls Jerusalem in the last days will control the world. We have the keeper of secrets as an impact. An impact card is temple activators. Individuals or objects that bring rituals to life. And another impact card is portals of mercy, forgiveness, divine grace, divine activation. Forgiveness, divine forgiveness, grace, and divine activation. I drink coffee and I like it. Leave me alone. I don't have a lot of vices. Every day, every time somebody see somebody got something to say, I'll be like, damn, we can't eat shrimp no more. You know what I'm saying? It's every day something I ain't supposed to do. It's more and more shit I ain't supposed to do. Like, come on, man. Ease up, bro. That's why we smoke weed. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is why people do this, is because shut up. Anyway, yeah, let's just go with that. I think I'm gonna just take that one song and leave that bit. All right. So we are our next. Y'all can start thinking about this too. Think about the guidance. Okay. What is our guidance? What is the collective's guidance regarding the red heifer sacrifice? Like, what is our guidance? What does the divine want us to know as individuals, as the collective, regarding the red heifer sacrifice? What guidance can we get from this? You know what I'm saying? All right, I'm going to slow this down and loop this, and that's going to be our bell because I don't have a bell yet. I don't have a bowl, a singing bowl. You know, I'm taking donations. I don't have one yet. So we're going to do a little mixing to create a bowl or our weird little bowl effect. So Here we go. This will be fun. So, I think I listed where my phones are. Mm, yeah, I don't think that's the same one. Oh, we looking for this one. Okay. I don't like when people, and I'm getting new at this, y'all. So hang tight with me, and I apologize for interrupting that energy because you never want to let that energy go. You know what I'm saying? Like when you got it, when you start to get on it, don't let it go. My ring is getting on my nerves. So that is the wrong one too. This is okay. I think I got it. Sometimes you just gotta make your own music. You know how it is. One second, let me play with this for a hot minute. Anybody here see this ain't right? Nobody. You know what I'm All right. So we are on a break. We're on a break. All right. So in that, our next part was about impact. Am I not right? Oh, we did impact here. So we got guidance. Let's get some information, please. Divine collective. Guide us. What is the guidance for the collective about how to feel, what to do? Should we be protecting ourselves? What should we be doing regarding this? And what's weird is I'm not sure that our main guidance starts. See how this comes out. All right. I asked for certain things in my songs, and at some point I was really into Hemi Sync. So I think this was kind of the download of Hemi Sync at that point. Anyway, back to our reading here. What is the guidance regarding the red heifer sacrifice? How should the divine collective feel guided at this time? Damn, y'all know how it is, right? All right, the guidance is the sacred geography. Okay. The sacred geography and controversy involves the dome of the rock, the current holy site and location of the foundation site. Yeah, that is our, no doubt, that is our guidance. It says it in here. That feels like it does. All right, so that's our guidance on this. This is about the dome of the rock. Okay, this is about the current holy site of the location of the foundation. Okay, once again, these are inspired cards, very inspired cards based on the ritual. Because my intuition, I don't feel like this whole, I use various tools to kind of get some inspiration as to what this is about. I feel like until my inspiration is stronger, I rely on a lot of research that I do prior to making these and kind of getting from collective what this is really about. Can we get another card, please? Well, now we'll move on to protection. We'll come back to guidance. We'll make sure there's 4 of each. And then, like I said, I might toss in some other stuff. We're going to go back to maybe another, I'll stop this and we may do another Children of Light reading because I ain't even never put in my deck ice cream truck. Okay? Children of Light work on deck, they have ice cream trucks in it. Like, come on. Divine revelation, prophetic and esoteric forces, divine revelation, unlocking hidden truths. This is our guidance card, but it could be for protection as well. I asked for protection. So divine revelation came out when I asked about protection, and as a prophetic and esoteric force, divine revelation, unlocking hidden truths came out when I asked for the card of protection. Now we are going to go back. We're going to go back to, because we got 4 for each of these. Let's get number 2s for just guidance and protection regarding regarding what is going on here with this red heifer sacrifice. Okay, red heifer sacrifices, child of light. It's hard to pop up. I'm sorry, y'all. This is very hard to do. Oh, okay, child of light. The 20-year-old hidden preparer represents secret knowledge, purity, and sacrifice unseen by the world. The child of light card came out when I asked for guidance and protection. So I hope that, because I hope that child is protected, I will be placing the child of light card in the protection category. The 20-year-old who is hidden and a preparer represents secret knowledge, purity, and sacrifice unseen by the world. Because that child himself has made a sacrifice. All right, let's get more guidance and protection regarding the red heifer sacrifice. Guidance and protection regarding the red heifer sacrifice. I don't even know if this is on. All right, disqualifying heifer. On July 8th, 2025, a rehearsal highlights imperfection and scrutiny in sacred rituals. I'll put that as guidance because all these were futures except for the August the 3rd. But the July 8th, 2025 was a rehearsal. I feel like maybe it happened. I don't know. I'm gonna leave that alone because it's weird that we had a Lionsgate portal and they ain't try to do something during it with that Tasha B'Av out there. You know what I'm saying? Once again, can we get more information on guidance and protection? Okay. First one that popped up here is prophecy in motion, guidance. Okay. This is a prophecy in motion. Events foreshadow sacred changes. Anybody seen any sacred changes yet regarding what this ritual could be about? Any sacred changes you all are experiencing in your own lives? Let's turn them this way. I don't see them. Little influence, guidance, and protection regarding Red Heifer sacrifice. Let's guide and protect the collective and how this ritual affects them. These are my practices. All right. Purification laws, touching death and ritual cleansing. Prophetic and esoteric forces. Purification laws, touching death and ritual cleansing. All right. It's funny, like I said the other day, sometimes you don't realize how fast an hour or so goes by until you do something like this, especially online. Like the time be different. You go by fast. You feel like you didn't spend 10 minutes. I feel like I've been here maybe sitting here maybe 20, 25 minutes. Sacred access ensures temple is spiritually centered. Rituals converge here. And this is about temple construction and cornerstone dates. The sacred access. So the dome of the rock holds the foundation cornerstone, but the foundation cornerstone sits there because this is the axis mundi. This is where the earth was created. It's the axis point of where the earth was created. Much like it reminds me of some stuff that you see in what's that movie called? Da Vinci Code. And then, so are we doing it as above, so below ritual? Meaning over here in America, they might be doing it for the Antichrist, like for real, the return of the Antichrist, because Elon is building an AI god at the same time that this red, red heifer sacrifice is going on. He's building an AI god. And then you got all these people, man, I don't know, bro. Sealed and revealed. This would be guide for protection. Timing of openings and closings is hidden knowledge. The holy doors and spiritual doors. So I have a video coming out later about this because I think it's a little more hard for protection. I let them get mixed up pretty good. I can feel that it's like right here. I'm kind of being blinded. It's usually a reflective thing that they got set up somewhere out there. They don't want you to know. They wouldn't just stop me from telling you shit. They stop you from listening. You know what I'm saying? They don't want you to know. This is a hidden ritual for a reason. I'm telling you. All right, give us guidance and protection on the red heifer sacrifice for the divine collective. What should we know about this? And like you know too much. Shabbat Para, March 21st, 2026, 22, March 21st to 22nd, 2025, spiritual preparation reading in synagogues. That's when that began. So what will happen on this looks like the date that will occur. So maybe that's our protection. I'm not sure. 1, 2, 3. Oh, we pulled too many cards. That's what it was. Okay, so we're gonna take what we got here. In our row of events, well, I'm gonna call this time next time. Now, if I was to put these in order, I would go. Our timing is here. We got 4 cards for each row except for the 2 that came out extra. Okay, which are also timing cards. Okay, and then we have he who controls. So the second question was timing. The first part was event or significance. What is the event or significance? I'm just going to put them in order to what makes sense based on the question. The child of light. Child of light, I feel like would be control. Jerusalem, child of light. Okay, keeper of secrets. Throne of the rock. Event or significance. Prophecy in motion. Impact. Event or significance. Prophecy in the rock would be event or significance. And disqualified. And but see, then these would have to be sitting out besides these. So, keeper of secrets would be impact, guidance. Keeper of secrets. Simple activation. Keeper of secrets. He who controls the world, child of light, keeper of secrets, divine revelation, place to be the access number, and the dome of the rock, and the revealed into prophecy and motion. There's a disqualified divine revelation, prophecy and motion, purification laws, and disqualified sealed and revealed and simple activated. I think sealed and revealed. All right, so it looks like future fulfillment. On timing, we have future fulfillment, meaning it hasn't happened yet. As dates, we have September the 15th, December the 25th, December, sometime in December, Hanukkah is when the illumination will occur. And then the revelation to the world won't be till January. So if that's true, then we are definitely looking at a September 15th new beginning. And then the prophetic vision of the temple completed is just a future fulfillment. All right, he who controls. So the time, the impact was he who controls Jerusalem. In the last days will control the world. Child of light is impact. Keeper of secrets is impact. Sealed and revealed. Divine revelation, prophecy in motion, purification, and disqualified effort. And then sacred access, dome of the rock, portal of mercy, and temple activated are all cards. So if we went timing, impact, guidance, and protection, event or significance, it does not have a role. But I can accept this as no. So that was just one way we could have done it. So I want to layer. So sunrise, 4th of Av just means the eastern gate. That's a card that's in here somewhere. So we're gonna stop this part here. I'm gonna end this video, and I may do another one later on the second child of life. I thank y'all for tuning in. I'm gonna do another one later on the second child of light oracle deck pool because I've only used that deck one time. And And as I said, all of my decks are divine inspired because I don't profess, to be the one. I am just here to deliver a message and hoping that divine intuition and growth for me to be able to deliver that message to the masses. So once again, I thank you all for tuning in. Hopefully my music didn't bother you too much. Because I'm just out here at it again, right? But at least I got it to the point where it is something that could stay on repeat for me. Because I stopped paying attention. Let's see if I can tweak it a little bit better here. I'm going to hang around for the tweak. I tried to take out everything, but let's see what else I can do with it. I'm down here, y'all. I'm just messing around a little bit, but thanks for tuning in. I'll be kind of doing this in and out throughout the day because that's what I choose to do. But I don't know if I'll be doing everyone like on this particular stream, so you can just kind of look out. And once again, thanks for tuning in. Peace and love, everybody. Stay protected, stay respected, and keep your eyes open. You know what I'm saying?